Вітаємо, шановні глядачі телепрограми «Альберта Контакти». Мене звуть Ксенія Лук'янчук, і сьогодні ми знаходимося на важливому для всіх українців заході вшанування пам'яті жертв Голодомору, яке відбувається у місті Едмонтон.
Сьогодні українці знову змушені захищати свою землю від російської агресії. Але, як і в часи Голодомору, українці демонструють неймовірну силу, стійкість і єдність. We will start the Holodomor Commemoration with a panagida, a prayer service to honor and remember the victims of the Holodomor. Молімося за упокій душ мільйонів невинних, які загинули голодною смертю внаслідок штучного голоду.
Благословені Бог наш завжди і повсякчас на віки вічні.
Слава з неба і за спасіння душ наших, Господеві помолімось. Заповік незабутніх мільйонів жертв штучного голодомору, батьків, матерей, дітей, братів і сестер наших, імена яких ти сам, Господи, знаєш, замучених голодовою смертю, заподіяною безбожними людьми, за їх спокій та блажену і вічну пам'ять Господеві помолімся.
Тепер попрошу всіх стати на хвилину мовчання, щоб вшанувати пам'ять мільйонів жертв Голодомору та всіх, хто загинув через війну в Україні, віддавши своє життя за свободу і мир. Ми ніколи не забудемо тих, хто став та стоїть на захист української землі та наших цінностей.
Today, as we mark International Holodomor Memorial Day Act on November 22nd, we stand together not only to remember the victims, but to honor their memory by educating our communities and resisting the forces that threaten human dignity and freedom. Today, our commemoration carries an additional weight of sorrow as we remember Alberta's last known Holodomor survivor, Mr. Lillian Kurolnek, who passed away last year. His courage in sharing his story was a beacon of truth in darkness of denial. Though he is no longer with us, his legacy lives on through his family, and we honor Mr. Korovnik's memory by having Miss Anne Korovnik with us today, sharing his poetry. This ensures our history remains alive and our future generations understand the resilience of human spirit against the unimaginable atrocities against Ukrainians and Ukraine. Tonight, we ask that you light a candle of remembrance to keep alive the memory of Holodomor victims and to reaffirm our collective commitment to justice and human rights. Let their memory inspire us to speak out against oppression, prevent history from repeating itself. May the memory of millions lost in the Holodomor in 1932-33 remain eternal. Ukraine remembers, the world acknowledges. Slava Ukraini!
1893 on March 1st, 2024. His poems will live forever, carrying his legacy and the story of Ukraine's endurance for generations to come. At this time, I would like to invite Anna Purovnik, the wife of the late Leonid Purovnik, to come forward and share a poem with us. Remember the Holodomor, that was written by Leonid Purovnik.
It is indeed an honor for me to be asked to read one of those poems written in his beloved Ukrainian language and so aptly translated into Ukrainian by Ksenia Marina. Remember the Holodomor. On this picturesque planet called Earth, there's an equally picturesque country. As a patriot son, I so proudly hailed her historic name, Ukraine. I am proud that it was my birthplace, and I love my homeland loyally. May its destiny soar to the zenith, may its happiness be unfettered. But a neighbor covets our country. The Kremlin took us, body and soul. Its own heart is cold as ice. It would raise even paradise to the ground. Came the order, destroy the rich farmers so all the poor can live well. But the chiefs only cast down a fog to obscure their destructive terror. Regiments were sent to Ukraine, drunken and stupid were they. Our nation had its rights grabbed away, the Kremlin's thirst for Ukrainian blood. Our village invaded by strangers, hostile sparks spitting mad from their eyes, and new brood, Red Soviet, came sweeping with flowing, devious language. We've gathered you people today to teach you the dogmas of atheism, prosperity for youth and children, the new blessings of communism. We've come to install Pravda order, to smoke up the kulaks, rich farmers. And to reach this goal, no one will stop us, not the crumbling religions nor clergy. And just so you don't forget, we present you now with a portrait of Stalin. But these lies were suddenly shattered when Uncle Stepan loudly roars, "Stop the deceit! We won't take any more. We don't need the despot Stalin as master." Till now, we were our lives' own masters. But today, hunger has left us no crumbs. On eternity's threshold we stand, so a portrait will not replace our bread. Although Stalin hangs there on the wall, it is only that you put him there. Meanwhile, we have no cows and no pigs. The enemy is bleeding us dry. Yesterday, my child begged for food, and today we're all sobbing together. There's the coffin. My boy did not survive. Is this Moscow's version of paradise? Not just the people. The land now is groaning, besieged by Moscow's famine, constricted by Kremlin's embraces, but our sword shall slay the serpent. Then, in tearful, grief-stricken silence, the village went to bury its dead. The guilty ones no longer there, gone to do evil to others. It was an awful time in history. Moscow caused this calamity. I lived there, hungered but survived. I testify now to Kremlin's plans. Record these events for all generations. They must be remembered forever. They must be seen as clear as day, till God himself calls us home. То страшний був цій історії час, спричинила Москва Веремії. Я там жив, подолав, а не згас. Свідчу вам про Кремля злі затії. Запишіть ці події для всіх поколінь, аби їх пам'ятали навіки, аби бачили їх, як небес голубі, доки Бог не закриє повіки.
Поезія Леоніда Коровника назавжди залишається живим свідченням трагедії, Голодомору та незламності українського народу. We announce today the release of a webpage dedicated to the poetry of Leonid Korovnik. There you can view video clips of the late Mr. Korovnik reading his poems. It can be found at holodomorsurvivor.ca. Again, holodomorsurvivor.ca.
His Majesty the King's representative in Alberta, I acknowledge all First Peoples who have called this place home for thousands of years and welcomed us here to make our own lives. May we always dwell together on these lands with respect, understanding, and a sincere commitment to walking the journey of reconciliation, and now I say reconciliation. Before I get into my remarks, I also want to acknowledge and applaud the presence of my aide-de-camp for today, Captain Jean Kushner. Captain Kushner is a member of the Ukrainian community, and he's a volunteer with the Office of the Lieutenant Governor. So whilst I applaud Captain Kushner, I want to applaud and acknowledge the presence of every single person in this room who is a volunteer. Because volunteers are the backbone of our society and communities, and we cannot move our communities forward without volunteers. So a big round of applause.
Yet, despite the cruelty and brutality of the Holodomor, Ukrainians persevere. Language, culture, and identity survive, passed down through generations. That resilience lives on today in the vibrant Ukrainian-Canadian community here in Edmonton, across Alberta, and throughout Canada.
So it truly is an honor to be here, and I wanted to thank the Ukrainian Canadian Congress for putting on this very, very important commemoration in our city. But most importantly, I wanted to thank all of you for being here, because we must never forget. We know that Canada is one of the strongest and largest, most vibrant Ukrainian communities anywhere in the world, and Edmonton is one of the most thriving in Canada. So by being here today, all of you, you're not just attending, you're supporting and strengthening that community.
We gather today to remember the millions of innocent lives lost during the Holodomor, Joseph Stalin's deliberate famine imposed on Ukraine in 1932-33. In his ruthless attempts to crush Ukrainian identity and forced industrialization, Stalin sealed borders, confiscated food, condemning families to a slow, agonizing death. The word Holodomor means death by hunger, a stark reminder of this atrocity. The true toll remains unknown, but historians estimate that millions perished. Many lie in unmarked graves, erased from history, by a regime that sought to silence the truth. Yet Stalin's campaign of terror failed. Ukrainian culture and identity endured.
I stand here today because my Baba, Tekla, came to Canada from Ukraine as a peasant farmer in 1913 on the last boat allowed to leave Ukraine before the boat First World War broke out. And like many Ukrainian homesteaders, my Bob and Takla arrived with nothing, but was determined to work hard to form a life here for her family. My father was born here, the fourth of 7 children she had, born in Canada, but spoke only Ukrainian until he went to school. Unfortunately, that language was not passed on to his children. Now, much of our province's agricultural success began with hardworking Ukrainian homesteaders clearing land, and of course, the culture lives on. Their resilience is why many of us are here today. We gather to remember the Holodomor, and we have to be clear about what it was.
As early as the 19th century, Ukrainian settlers arrived to set down roots in our province. Today, about every 5th Albertan can claim Ukrainian ancestry, making it one of the largest communities outside the Ukraine. And while we're honored to share many cultural traditions, we also join together to share the enduring pain of Holodomor. The Holodomor is a lesson on how prejudice, oppression, and misuse of power can lead to horrific consequences. And while we acknowledge past events and vow never to repeat them, it's disheartening that we continue to see similar attacks across the world unfold before our eyes, including the illegal invasion of Ukraine by Russia.
At the University of Alberta, we are working to ensure that the Holodomor is studied, understood, and remembered globally. The Holodomor Research and Education Consortium is preparing to launch a massive open online course titled Famine as Genocide in the 20th Century, the Case of the Holodomor. This course, available worldwide on Coursera, will be free to all learners. It brings together leading international scholars, archival materials, and survivors' testimonies and new research. Its goal is not only to teach the history of the Holodomor, but to place it within a broader global context of famine as a tool of political violence. Education is one of the most powerful ways to honor the victims, counter denial, and preserve memory. As we gather here today, we cannot ignore the echoes of the past in the present. Ukraine again confronts a brutal war waged by a regime that denies its right to exist.
On behalf of the Ukraine-Canadian Congress, I would like to thank all of you for coming here today. And I would like to acknowledge and thank you, our distinguished guests joining us today. Your presence honors the memory of the victims of the Holodomor and strengthens our collective commitment to truth, dignity, and historical justice.
Україна пам'ятає, світ визнає. Ukraine remembers, the world acknowledges. These two phrases taken together are the slogan of the most recent push to shed light upon the genocide of the Ukrainian people.
Глядачі, щиро дякуємо вам за перегляд нашої телепрограми «Альберта Контакт». До зустрічі з вами в наступному випуску. А якщо ви не підписані на наш канал, підписуйтесь, поширюйте, надсилайте друзям та ставте вподобайку.